What is mysticism? It sounds very mysterious and very like, woo, mysticism. What does it actually mean, though? It's something that sounds super fancy, but for me, it's inherent to the way that I live my life. I don't actually know the textbook definition of what mysticism is, but I'm just going to explain what I understand it to be. So, mysticism is almost a quest for understanding, a quest for understanding reality as it is. It takes an incredible amount of open mindedness and a bit of radical, like you have to be quite radical to be a mystic, because the whole world and everybody in our society and the world just doesn't really understand these principles of spirituality, what God is, meditation at the deepest level. Nobody really speaks about these things. And so mysticism, which is the quest for understanding or truth, is very much like this weird thing that only you just imagine people in the mountains, in the Himalayas, or yogis just are into. All these really like esoteric, eccentric cult leaders or whatever, they're like labeled mystics. But anyone can be a mystic as long as you have the desire to know the truth and you have the desire to understand yourself and the world, and you have a love for reality. You can be a mystic. If you're new to these concepts, you're probably confused on what I'm talking about. But some of you probably know what I'm alluding to when I'm talking about the truth of reality. Like, what even is that? The truth of reality, simply put, is seeing things past your current perceptual filters. So your worldview and the way you see the world has been conditioned by your environment. So your family, your society, your friends, the schooling that you have, all of these things have clouded the way you interpret different things. So you see, maybe you see a fancy car, and depending on what your conditioning is, you interpret that car in a different way. So you might not even think it's a fancy car if you grow up really, really rich. It might just be a normal car. And you might have judgments about it, like, oh, why are they showing off their like wealth by buying a car? All of these different thoughts, the way you interpret the world around you is what a filter is. And so mysticism or spirituality, the purpose of it, in a sense, is going past these filters to the thing that is common for every single person and every single being in the entire universe. There is a common thing past the filters. So there's a quote that just came to my mind as I was saying this by Rumi. Past the ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. Something along those lines. I've completely butchered it, I'm sure. But that is essentially past your perceptual filters of what you take to be right, what you take to be wrong. There is something, and again, this thing is actually ineffable. It can't be described. And it's shared amongst everyone. That thing is what you're trying to get back in touch with. This thing is, in essence, the deepest version of you. You are not your conditionings. You are not your judgments. You're not your thoughts about fancy cars. You are this thing that is beyond these filters. And everyone has this. And again, it seems like some esoteric thing, like, wow, it's so like this thing beyond filters. But it's not. Like, it's super, super fundamental to your existence. It is your existence. But if 99% of the population only focuses on the filters, so the judgments and the thoughts and the personality and the things that you say, the things that you think, if 99% of the world focuses on that, the 1% of the world that focuses on what's beyond seems like like kind of a woo woo or crazy. But again, there's nothing woo woo. You don't actually have to believe anything. You don't have to believe anything that I just said in this video either. You can investigate this yourself. And the process of investigating this is what mysticism is. You're investigating, what am I really? Who am I really? What is reality truly beyond these filters, beyond these perceptions? What is actually going on? Like, what the fuck is going on? That's the real question. It's not just more thoughts. It's not just more beliefs. It's not more ideas. It's not a new belief system. That isn't the answer. The answer is beyond all of those things. You can't put a word to it. And you may have had glimpses of this quote unquote answer. To even call it that is a bit weird, but we'll just go with that. You might have had glimpses when your mind goes quiet, when you stop thinking, or maybe you're in just like during like orgasm or whatever, your mind just goes completely still and you're not thinking about anything. There is no belief systems, there is no thoughts, there's nothing about you personally, like you as in the body, the mind, like none of it is there. And for a moment you're free. Yeah, you're free. The pursuit of mysticism's got a lot to do with freedom as well. You know, that quote, the truth will set you free. So yes, that is mysticism. I know, I think I went on a bit of a rambly tangent, but hopefully this helped you understand a little bit more about what it is. It's not something that is, it's not woo-woo. You can investigate it yourself without having to believe anything. I guess I'll just give like a little direction on how do you investigate it. Because if you haven't had the experience and you've listened this far, that's crazy. There's definitely something there. If you're at this point in the video and you haven't had any glimpses into true reality, that means there is a craving somewhere there, that you really want to know what's going on in the world. Because why else would you be listening to this random person on YouTube speaking about this topic? So yeah, if you haven't had any glimpses, you can do meditation, which is basically, meditation was invented for this purpose. It's to calm your mind so you can see what's beyond your mind. So if you go into a regular meditation practice, eventually your mind will get calm enough that you will be able to see beyond it. Or you can also do psychedelics. That's an option. Of course, you need to be safe and responsible. I know I haven't been that safe or responsible in the past, and it's serious. Like, you can see some wild stuff. So you should definitely take that seriously. Like, don't get all up in your head about it, but do it with a trip sitter, a friend that you trust, and you'll be able to, you'll likely see glimpses like past the veils as well. That's like a big thing for most people. It just motivates them. It gives them a taste of what's to come. But meditation is the safest and probably most natural way. But everything, there's no like hard rules. Like, if you do psychedelics, you're not a bad person or you're not cheating. So that's everything. Hopefully you enjoyed this little insight, this little rambly description. If you did, feel free to enjoy it. Yeah, feel free to. And for now, peace and love.